Because you feel like you failed as a Vulcan or as a human?
I enjoy expressing emotion.
Guys, UltimatDjz here. What's up, Star Trekkers? And we are here with another Star Trek Fleet Command video. Today, what we're doing is giving you our feedback. Here's what we're going to do. Today, we're going to write Scopely a letter. We have now experienced 100% of the event styles, right? We still have a calendar going on, but we've done the burst events. We've done the Context is for Kings. We have done the Strength in Numbers. We have done the Galactic Exploration. We have done all of the brand new events, and we're here to give your feedback. We have been crazy around the clock collecting your opinions from the official Discord, from here on YouTube, from the podcast shows, and everywhere else in the game. We have been collecting. We have been collecting nonstop, and we are here to summarize it, not only for you, but for you too, Scopely. Before we get started, I would like for you guys to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click the little bell so you know about when we produce more content, so it's always there for you. All right, and you always know when new stuff comes out. Plus, leave your comments in the section below the video so that we can address those as we move forward. So it has been an absolutely crazy week. Snake Eyes, myself, the moderators, the other content creators, we have had our hands full answering questions, taking feedback, and overall explaining elements of this latest arc, the Discovery arc. So I would like to write a letter today. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to write a letter to Scopely in video format, and this expresses the opinions that myself and my team have collected this week regarding Discovery Arc 1. Dear Scopely, the first issue I would like to address is the one that had the anomaly events postponed the entire first week. The issue of the burst events not showing up for some people. Now that is a game-breaking issue when it comes to pop-up events that don't pop up. So Scopely pulled the event as they worked on the issue immediately with, by the way, excellent communication and compensation that for the most part equaled what everyone would have received in the first week if they had been able to complete the events unhindered. Now you might ask, how could they not know the events were not popping and that we had to restart to see them? We've been having that issue for months. Well, it's quite simple. It wasn't happening to everyone. Myself, as an example, that did not happen to me. I did not have that bug. I had no issues with events popping up at event reset or dailies reset, but a lot of you guys were. So while some people may have reported it, not many did for them to know just how many people it was affecting. Now that in no way takes Scopely off the hook for allowing the bug to happen in the first place. However, if not everybody was seeing it and no one was reporting it, they couldn't have really known how widespread this problem was. That being said, once the official Discord was set ablaze, Scopely, good job. You did realize how big of an issue it was. The event was pulled and you went to work on fixing it. The moral of the story here, everybody, is report every bug, report every glitch, submit the tickets to customer support so that they can know what's going on. So with the anomaly events on pause, some of the events went on as scheduled. I can safely reveal now that the ill-fated Gauntlet event was indeed scheduled to run in its finality on the weekend that it did. The issues with Gauntlet are something we've discussed in some of our videos and podcasts, so I'm not going to rehash old news, but suffice to say, your feedback regarding ways to make any further tournament-style events better have been basically sent up the ladder. I will also say that Apex event was kind of moved up to fill the void in our event schedule, and they also ran some of the other Discovery Arc specials that could be run without the pop-up issues, such as Strength in Numbers, such as Context is for Kings. Which brings us to this past week, when the pop-up issues for most of you had been resolved and anomaly events restarted. I like the anomaly event. It's a great first attempt at introducing a new mechanic into the game, a sort of timed scavenger hunt. For actually being able to see these events brought another long-standing issue to the forefront, which is lag. It always seems to happen when you try to put too many players in a system. Lag. I know, listen, I want to take a second to address the elephant in the room. We're all aware that there are infrastructure bugs in the game. The client or app on your device not showing events is an example of one. That, for most of the player base, has now been remedied. However, there are still some of you reporting that even with the the latest updates, you're still having the issue. And my advice for you guys is, again, file a ticket. Let them know that it's not working for you so the developers can figure out what devices are still having issue. The other major infrastructure issue that was brought to the forefront with this arc, of course, as we mentioned a second ago, is the lag. This is not the first time we've had lag in this game. In fact, most events that bring a lot of players in the same general area just causes the server to die out. By lag, what we mean in the simplest terms is that the servers cannot handle all the simultaneous requests that get sent to it in the same area, so it misses some. It skips over them. That's why when you click the target, it doesn't always immediately respond. You get rubber banding issues, or even ships zooming across the screen, or just you sit there and while your neighbor comes over and hits the hostile that you've been waiting to hit for 10 seconds. It is the client and server being not in sync with each other. We've seen this in the Separatist events, the Borg, the Outlaw Armada events. Sometimes we simply see it when doing a hostile hunt, but it really became apparent with these burst events because the load on the servers was multiplied by everybody trying to be in the server at the exact same time because they were forced to be in the game at the top of the hour for 5 hours a day. An infrastructure issue is not necessarily an event issue. When lag is reported and then confirmed by the developers, more systems were opened inside the event to help combat that problem, which for many servers seemed to help out a lot, but not for all. There was a lot of frustration on the Discords where some people were saying that the event was easy, others saying that it was simply unplayable. We dug into the matter further and discovered that there were definitely some servers out there experiencing lag at a much higher rate than others. One server's video looked like they were literally in a freeze frame position. Nothing was moving, and that definitely could not be fun to try to complete a burst event in. I totally get it. I, of course, not being a super technical guy, could not even begin to give suggestions on how to fix this issue. Guys, I mean, look, he literally not moving, frozen, still like a statue, not moving. This right here, Scopely, would be a game-breaking problem, especially if burst events are on the table for the future. And Scopely, we implore you. We love your game. We do. Otherwise, we wouldn't keep coming back to it. So please, 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 for the love of discovery, see what I did there? Please put the lag issues at the top of your list of things to address moving forward. It has to be addressed. So let's go back to the events. We got a lot to do. Okay, running out of time. Those players who experienced few lag issues or had those lag issues corrected seem to enjoy the idea of the new burst mechanic and the anomaly events, or, well, they would have if they didn't have to do it 4 days back to back. Now, I know that that's only a one-time thing. The remaining burst events appear to be happening in 48-hour bursts. But come on, Scopely. We have absolutely mentioned this before. Please stop running events for so long that we simply don't have the strength to do them again. Like, we get tired of them. Arcs are too long if we're running the same events into the ground. Shorten the arcs from 90 days to 30. Some people have even said go shorter than that. I know the monthly arc is only 24 days. But if we're running recycled dry events, then we could shorten that up a little bit. Or leave the arcs at the same length that they are now at the 24 days, and let's recycle some other content. How about we do a Clear the Coast event with the Stella Exchange? How about we do Borg Matas again? How about we visit Borg nanoprobes again? You're using the Botany Bay and the Franklin in the Battle Pass. Let's use some of the previous ships in the Battle Pass. And try not to schedule such a highly intense event like the Anomaly events with other highly intense Battle Pass events like Faction Hunt. We know that time in game is a trackable metric, but my kids are starting to forget what I look like. Balance it out a little bit. Arc specialty events that are going to take a lot of time and concentration, give us a relaxing day in the Arc, like mining. Not active data mining, but normal mining or domination. Don't forget, we still got to do our dailies and maybe run a few Stella Matas and do a couple of Borg probe runs. Don't overtax it. Balance the time. Which brings us to our next significant piece of feedback, is that this is entertainment. It's a video game. The players want to do it on their schedule. Let's work together to figure out a way to have the burst events that run on our timetable, not specifically to yours. One suggestion could be to increase the frequency of the burst events, perhaps every 30 minutes instead of every hour, and give people more of a chance if they can take a 15-minute break out of life to enjoy your game. A suggestion that came here from our executive producer, Snake Eyes, was to try to figure out how to make them a join event that after a minute or two cooldown starts the 15-minute event for you as a player. That way we can choose when to start it. We're still racing against the clock and can still be influenced by the amount of time that we have to get there. The rush of where to find the next system, the egg on our face as soon as we realize that we're in the wrong system and have to rush to the next. That's what made this event fun for a lot of us. And it could also possibly help with the lag issues because not everybody would be rushing at the same time, even though we are rushing at our own time, which neatly ties into the next area of feedback, the once and you miss it events. Well, I respect the attempt to split the start times in each region to a local time. There's still a lot of wiggle room in making the timings bearable for everyone. I remind you, Scopely, you have players all across the globe. That said, you're never going to be able to fully satisfy everyone with a start time, but only picking 3 start times across the globe is still going to make it an overnight or an ill-suited time for somebody in some time zone, and we should not be favoring certain time zones over others. Make them largely gapped. Make it a one-time run through the event. I mean, you've done it with the jelly. Maybe if you participate in one, you cannot participate in the next. That way you can still only prize somebody out one time, and once they participate, then they're done. That way players can choose the best time frame and then choose 3 different times, a morning, noon, and night edition. But once you join it and finish it, you're done. You don't see it again, just like your jelly event. This would keep the exclusivity of a one-time event, but give a little more freedom to choose when to try it out. Which brings us to our final set of feedback for this event, the one-time events that we just had, Galactic Exploration and Where No Man Has Gone Before. Guys, I loved this event. This was a lot of fun. I even ran it multiple times, even though the rewards were the exact same. The first time I ran it through, and I told you guys that I actually had bookmarked every system so that I could try and get through it the first time I got through it. All 15 milestones. The second time, I got the 15 milestones, which wasn't super necessary. I just kind of wanted the trade. But the third time, guess what? I didn't get it all the way through it. Shout out to our warring alliances, and shout out to the players that were actually able to stop me. I only got to 12 milestones on my third run because I was getting blown up. This was fun to me, okay? It wasn't a mindless event. It involved strategy. It involved chase and run, and there were other ships trying to stop me. This was great. But feedback from this event revealed 3 major bullet points. First, if there were different or scaling rewards for each run through, people might have been more interested in doing it more than once. Those that did do it seemed to enjoy it, but then when the rewards were the exact same for the second run, they were like, why do it again? The rewards were simply not enticing enough to repeat the reward. Number 2, there was a lot of confusion regarding the event itself. I think I know what you did and why you did it, and I understand the mechanics that you used. But as with all solo milestones, you have to claim the rewards before the time elapses for it to count. And some players know this because I've made that mistake before and let rewards vanish without claiming them. But not everybody did realize that. As well as Where No Man event required the collection of distortion rings before the expiration of the timer. If you did not claim those distortion rings, then you lost out on the claiming of the points. I even think I understand why the Galactic Exploration event was actually 15 minutes instead of one event, because to make it one event with milestones would have required you to predetermine your path through these systems, which would have not been as enjoyable as taking the time to plan out the paths ourselves. So I'm totally fine with how you did it, but again, communication goes a long way. You needed to have told your players to be sure to collect those distortion rings before the end of the 15 minutes, because a lot of players didn't get their prizes on the first run. Now, you say that they had a second run to do it. That's fine, and some players did. But they missed out on the tritanium from the first run, as well as spent a boatload of cultivated mycelium. Some of the feedback on this particular event is the same as others, spreading the times out more so there's more of a choice on when to run the event. Another person stated have the mini event milestones self-collect, and another possibly more feasible idea, extend the main event by about 5 or 10 minutes to allow for collecting all the distortion rings. And finally, it comes down to number 3, which is the same thing I've been saying for such a long time. Just do communication. Give better details on event descriptions. If the event is actually going to be 15 mini events, tell us that. If we have to collect everything before a timer runs out, tell us that too. Help us understand what you want us to do, and that will help players enjoy the game more. All in all, most of the people we spoke to this week were most upset regarding the infrastructure issues, the lag, the events not popping, and so on. And when we took the infrastructure issues off the table, we literally said to players, imagine that they are not there. You hit every ship that you targeted. You saw every event pop. How would you feel about the events? Believe it or not, Scopely, most people expressed that they could enjoy them. This was nice to have new mechanics introduced, and they expressed the feedback about timing, about too much going on during some of them, and wanting more detailed explanations and better communication. And there were some who simply did not like the events at all, which is okay. Personally, I prefer events that promote opportunities to engage in PvP. I hate mining, others love mining and hate hostile grinding, some love PvE hostile grinding and hate PvP. There's room for all of us in this game. Overall, the number one complaint with this one was just timing. Finally, one last piece of feedback that's not related to the function of the arc or the technological advances of the actual events themselves is just a lot of talk about Discovery and its limited ability to be upgraded. The Discovery refinery being too slow, its low power, and what use will I have for this ship after these arcs? Will I be able to upgrade this ship after the arcs? While I know that you have yet to introduce a ship into the game which has been unable to be upgraded or used outside of the arc, perhaps a little more information would indeed go a long way. A little bit of information that could confirm the desirability of needing this ship to be a part of our stable of ships would go a long way. I realize you don't want to share all your plans and secrets, but perhaps just a hint would satisfy some fears and concerns. Sincerely yours, Scopely, your official podcast host, UltimatDjz, and the community who wants to help you make this game even greater. Ladies and gentlemen, please leave your comments in the section below. What did you think about our letter to Scopely? What did you think about the general feedback that was gathered during this arc? Do you like it? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Let me know why in the comment section below. And please do subscribe to the video. Click the little bell notification so you know about future content when it comes out. My name is UltimatDjz, and that about wraps it up, folks. Appreciate you being here. Please keep going. Share it with everybody. We got to get those subs up. We are so daggone close, all right? The race to 1,000 is on, so click the subscribe button, and we will see you right here on the channel for our next Star Trek Fleet Command video. My name is UltimatDjz. Love you, mean it. See you later. Bye-bye.